Alrighty. So, we're not going to be on here too long because I'm tired and I'm looking forward to going to bed. But I feel very inspired. I think often about that famous quote, "It takes 10,000 hours of practice for you to become a master of your craft." And I've always been looking for that thing that I can devote 10,000 hours of my time, energy, and essence towards. And I really feel like I've found it. Human peak, peaking my own physique, and my own self. 10,000 hours of practice on that. The amount of knowledge I've obtained in just the past 2 years, so much so that I've even been saying that I've been on this journey for 3 years, but that isn't the case, considering that I started at the beginning of 2021. By the end of this year, it will be 3 years that I've been introduced to the positive effects of good nutrition. And we're just getting started. 10,000 hours. My aim is to become an expert on this and to help others, educate others, and do all the things. Granted, I'm still very honest about moments in this whole process that can feel disruptive. For instance, this is something I haven't really been talking about outside of my inner circle, I suppose. For the past couple of months, I've been dealing with issues, digestive-related, specifically constipation, which then turns into hemorrhoids when the bowel movement does actually occur. Maybe I should have started this whole segment with a disclaimer. This isn't the coolest thing to talk about. Constipation and hemorrhoids. I'm not going to use those words again, but these two issues have been things I've been dealing with for 16 years at this point. Recently, however, within the past 2 or 3 months, the frequency of these issues have been occurring much more often than ever before in my life. Typically in the past, there will be moments where I've never been a regular person. I've never gone to the bathroom. I have retainers in my mouth. I've never gone to the bathroom on a daily basis when it comes to solid waste coming out of my body. This is a very adult conversation, and it's one that I've been avoiding having with a camera and posting online. But it feels like it's time because I'm aware of my mood and how it changes when I'm on an upswing, and I need to be transparent about it. Right now I feel optimistic because I think that I figured out the solution to these issues that I've been having for the past couple of months, so far as the frequency is concerned. Like I said, normally for the past 16 years, if I am not going as frequently as I have become accustomed to, which for me it's like, if I'm going every other day, it's a good week, let alone month. But normally, when I pay attention, it's like if it's Monday, I'll go on Monday. Tuesday, I don't go. Wednesday I might go, then Thursday and Friday I don't go, and then Saturday I go. But at least it's moving. And there have been times, like I said, and this happens often, where there's just no movement, or because of what I ate over the past couple of days, when it is time for movement to occur, it comes out not good. And so I get an inflammation. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of what actually happens, but it's quite unfortunate. So fast forward to present day, 2023, past couple of months, whatever I've been doing, whatever I've been eating, this issue has become far more frequent than ever before, where I've had these issues 4 times within the past 2 to 3 months, which is never the case. And each time it happens, I change something about my diet. So the first time it happened back in, I don't know, May, I believe, when I went to, it might have happened in April. I went to Mexico with my girlfriend, and I remember the day that we got to Mexico, I hadn't gone to the bathroom for 36 hours. And I realized that I'm like, okay, I haven't had any water, so I need to start drinking water. And I started focusing on water for the first day that I was in Mexico, and I started getting concerned because I hadn't gone for a long enough time and I hadn't been drinking water. So I knew that when it was time for it to come out, it wouldn't come out in a very smooth and chill way. So I remember purchasing prunes and eating prunes to kind of address the issue, and by then it was too little, too late. So boom. And I had said I wasn't going to use the terminology, but I'll use it once more. For those who don't know what hemorrhoids are, it's like a weakness in the walls around the area that you excavate from. I know this is a tough one. It's a tough one for me, at least. But perhaps there's not enough people talking about it. I don't know who else has this issue. Like I said, it's been an issue that I've been dealing with forever. Anyway, hemorrhoids are caused from pushing too hard and during a bowel movement. And the thing is that when you get hemorrhoids, you can get them again and again. And there might be times when you don't even feel like you're pushing that hard, but because your body is already accustomed to getting them, you basically can't push at all in order to avoid getting them again. Some people can get surgeries. I know that my father got a surgery when he first got hemorrhoids, and he hasn't had them since. It's something I've always considered. Maybe I still will in the future, but I've always more so been inclined to just figure out what I can do naturally. And I've never had surgery on anything. I still have to get a surgery to get my appendix removed. I've had appendicitis twice in my life, 2 consecutive years, 2022 and 2021. I should have gotten it removed during either one of those instances, but I didn't because various reasons. One, I don't want to fucking scar my stomach. I love my stomach. And 2, timing. It was an inconvenient time for me to have surgery and not be able to take myself to the gym for 3 weeks. And I knew that if I was in that state of mind, laid up, unable to work out, my diet would not be good. And so I wouldn't be working out. I'd be eating kind of depressed, and I would just gain weight. So that's why I didn't do the surgery in the past. That's another tangent. Anyway, so yeah, got hemorrhoids a couple months ago, drank water, ate prunes to address it, thought everything was hunky-dory. Then a couple weeks after that, I got them again, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what is it this time? I'm not getting enough fiber in my diet. So then I started eating more fibrous foods. I went from eating chicken, rice, and broccoli every day to chicken, beans, and broccoli, because beans are very high in fiber. And a couple weeks passed and I got them again. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if beans aren't doing the trick, then let's get fats in the mix, because I did some research and I saw that if you are consisting on a diet that is low in fats, greasy fats, then you might not have enough lubrication going on in your intestines. So I switched over to, at the time I was eating like no more than 20 grams of fat per day. So I upped it up to 50, 60, sometimes 70 grams of fat, which resulted in me having to increase my caloric intake in order to get an adequate amount of carbohydrates to continue my intense workouts. So I went from 1,700 calories to 1,850, 1,900 calories each day to incorporate the additional fats that I was eating. The fats that I was eating was avocado. I was already eating nuts and that wasn't helping, so I started focusing on avocado, cheese, butter, olive oil, those kinds of things, and with the thinking behind that being that these things would digest in the stomach and perform or act as like a lubricating or a greasing agent to continue the movement of the intestines. So I did that for a week or so and then got them again. So that was the fourth time, like I said, in like 2 or 3 months. So this fourth time, which is most recent, last week, every single time that it's occurred, it stalls my momentum. I ask myself if it's related to the harder intensity leg days that I'm having. I ask if it's the squatting that I'm doing, how I spend time on the bottom when I do a rep of a squat. I got the bar on my back and it's a heavy rep. So when I go down, I spend a couple of seconds down there before I explode back upwards with the intention of removing any kind of bouncing movement in the rep. And when I push, I'm pushing hard and I ask myself, am I not breathing correctly? Is this causing a strain on that area, which is already a weak muscle, obviously, since I can get it so often? So I ask myself that question. Anyway, regardless as to what the specific issue is, every time that this painful experience occurs, it stalls me. I feel that I start building up momentum. I start really getting into the groove of being in a caloric deficit, looking forward to the foods that are in my meal plan, and then all of a sudden I get this issue again and I can't really work out as hard as I was working out because any pushing movement irritates the issue. And then I have to reassess my diet because my diet leading up to this moment wasn't properly addressing this issue, obviously, because it continues to occur. So it's quite disheartening, it's demoralizing, and it's just outright frustrating because before it happens, I'm feeling so good about my prospects, I'm feeling like I'm dialed in, and then I have this health issue that's quite uncomfortable and painful. And I have to figure out some new thing, some new diet that will better address this problem that I'm having. So, with all that being said, I am talking to you now because I feel more optimistic than I did last week when the momentum was disrupted again. And now, besides the increase in fiber and the increase in water and the increase in fats, now after talking to my mother and doing additional research on the internet, now the focus is on adding supplements into my diet such as magnesium oxide and probiotics. This actually just came in the mail from Amazon today. I did a little Google search as to what are the best supplements for bowel movements, and what came up was magnesium oxide and probiotics. So I purchased both supplements immediately, and so far so good. I went today and I went twice yesterday. So like I said, I'm not expecting for a miracle. I'm not expecting to be like everyone else who's able to go to the bathroom once a day. I think that would be the coolest thing in the fucking world. It's not something I've ever experienced, but it would be super cool. And I'm just trying to stay optimistic about introducing these new supplements. My understanding, based off of the research that I made, when it comes to magnesium specifically, it increases the water in your intestines, which should act as something that softens the stool and keeps things more regular. And then when you have probiotics, that's all about gut health and proper digestive enzymes or whatever. So, like I said, I'm feeling more optimistic than I was this time 72 hours ago. Yeah, I guess that's really it. This is a bit of a personal one for me. It's not one that I ever imagined that I would discuss openly on the internet, but it's just what's happening. And I guess on the one hand, it's good to have struggles. My personal struggle is overeating, constipation, hemorrhoids, and maybe that's just it. Maybe it's just that it. Yeah. The hustle continues. Thanks for listening to this personal and intimate disclosure. I promise my next one will be less uncomfortable. I'll see you there.